he plays best of series is actually amazing.
It is incredible to watch, and we were discussing in the pre-game lobby that indeed Fuzer is going to aim to buy raxrax.com.
I would.
I would if I was Fuzer, I'd buy raxrax.com. Or
And I was so worried when we were talking about it the first time. I was like, crap, I don't actually know raxrax.com isn't something X-rated. I was like, what's gonna happen now? Like, we're gonna get taken off air. All of these horrible things are gonna happen. And then I visited the site and I was like,
it's just saying something cool is coming soon. But the
which
thing
is
is,
true. It is coming soon.
It is
At
coming
a
soon.
4-minute mark.
Oh, that was cool. That was
Oh dear.
well done, sir. Well done, sir. Now,
dear.
oh dear. Okay, supply
No.
depot down.
And
SCV.
look at this. He's going. Note the Overlord, where the Overlord would end up, and he's like going straight past it because he knows.
There is no reason you would send an Overlord down here. That I can assure you. Having played a lot of Zerg games, you do not send an Overlord here. Ever.
God.
Ever, ever, ever.
Like, he is the master of knowing where to put his build. It's so unbelievably impressive. He like, I don't remember the last time I'm sure they exist because he's done it hundreds of times, right? But I don't remember the last time I seen a Fuzer game where a barracks has been proxied and it immediately gets scouted. He always knows the best places to put them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, apart from that game on Star Station, where he did his, I think, intentional to get it scouted. So
Well,
he could just...
kind of, except that was the Reaper, and this is going to be the Reaper as well because it's only one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So just
Rax
the one
Rax.
Rax here from Fuzer this game.
Just Rax.
Yep,
No Rax
just
Rax.
Rax. Just Rax over 2.
Yep.
No problems there whatsoever, as we have got the hatchery going down now for Sortof. The Overlord is going to come in to the natural expansion location. We'll spot that, okay, we haven't seen a command center first or anything silly like that. But we've got a Marine coming out, which will be followed by a couple of Reapers. And now we have a drone scout out to the watchtower as
Oh,
well.
no. It's actually a second Marine coming out afterwards. Where's
Whoa.
the gas gonna go? Gas? Gas?
Okay.
Where are you gonna go, gas? Ooh.
It's a classic Rax, gas. I don't think so.
Someone's just come on stream right now and just heard us basically having an entire conversation as if
Yeah,
we're teaching babies StarCraft, and they're like, "What the hell is this?" and just click close. Like, that's what's happening.
Oh, he's forcing the over. Guys, this is so cool. Fuzer's mind games are amazing. He has a single Marine and 2 SCVs with this attack, okay? A single Marine and 2 SCVs, and he is forcing 0 mining time from how many drones that are on your screen right now, guys? Take a look. There are 14 drones not mining. Why? Because Sortof is afraid of what this might actually be. These mind games are superb coming out of Fuzer, and the gas goes towards building a factory back home. He is like, it's like he has Sortov's brain in his hand, and he's just squeezing it in different places whenever he feels like. It's like, now you're going to expect this. Now I'm going to do this, and this is going to be your reaction. You're going to freak out when I do this. And he's manipulating his opponents so unbelievably well.
Oh.
I can't emphasize this enough.
Joe saw there's some Zerglings coming though, and those supply depots need to go up. Please, Fuzer, put them up. Put them. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's fine.
This is... that it's... Fuzer is... Yes, okay. All sorts of aggression and cheese. But he is so smart. The way he's been playing the win or lose has been perfect from a look at the long run, this is what I need to do to win a best of X series point of view. He has done so well, and that is why he is currently 4-2 up on match point against a player who is better known for his macro. If you put these guys in 12 macro games against each other, Sortof will probably be the bookie's favorite to win, because he's more experienced in that kind of play. But Fuzer is forcing Sortof to play his kind of game, and he's still managing to keep him guessing at the same time.
There's a double starport following this up, Jorisa. There's a double starport, double Banshee play coming out of this.
Like, people in chat might just be saying, Jarso, why are you so biased? Why you want Fuzer to win? It's not that. It's just, you very rarely get a situation where a player is being mind-gamed so hard that this kind of stuff actually works, guys. And that's what Fuzer's doing so well, and that's what I hope everyone watching this stream can take away from the series.
Oh,
Regardless
the
of
Overlord's coming in! The Overlord can't see this! The Overlord... Okay, Overlord, kill it! Kill it, Marines! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Kill it! Okay, one tech lab's been seen. One starport's been seen. Another tech lab's been seen. And it... Oh, they both get spotted. Literally, that was good by Sortof. Okay, so he knows.
He was half a second away from just, like, preparing for a single Banshee and potentially going down. But he has seen the double Starport now. That was unbelievably close. And already, immediately, we have the gases being taken. We have the Spore Crawler going down as well. So he is going to be thoroughly prepared. He's spreading his creep too to try and get a little bit more vision on the edges there in case a ground army comes by to reinforce. And with that scouting information, Sortof now is in a decent position.
Okay, so Banshee, incoming. Queens are there. No cloak.
I think someone in chat actually like put it beautifully. Sortof is going to need a mental institution after this series. He's gonna check himself in. I can't take it anymore. I don't get it. It's too much. But I'm rooting for Sortof a little bit now because if Sortof wins 2 games, we get a game 9 medals.
We get a game 9, and game 9 would be awesome.
This is an exciting series. I like it. Oh, and a Zergling actually gets in to spot and. Yes, okay, he only sees the 2 starports, but that's actually really important because he sees that the 2 starports are still on their tech labs. So it's not like they've been swapped out to 2 factories and he's pumping out seed chanks or something, for example.
Speedlings managed to get into the natural base. They're going to be able to pick up quite a few SCVs. There's only 3 Marines there, so both mules getting prioritized and now going up to the main, but good reactions to the supply depot goes off. Fuzer, well, okay, so Sortof, he got a good scout, killed 2 mules. Not too bad for Fallings.
And here come 4 Banshees towards a natural expansion there. How many queens are at the natural right now? I see there are 5 queens at the ramp, so that's a decent chunk of firepower. We have a scan going down in front as well, and it looks like the Banshees have decided that the front door is the correct way to go. The queens now popping up to try and engage. This is... Actually, Sortof's doing a great job of zoning out these Banshees, I have to say. He needs to not get too far off of creep.
Yeah, he needs to be really careful because, those Banshees can just run round and the Queens are so far away. What other anti-air is there? The Spire is nowhere near done. And there is now 6
He can fly
Banshees.
straight into the natural. And he should. He should. Oh no, he's leaving them there. That would have been such a good opportunity to just head into the natural, kill the Spore Crawler, and maybe get away with 5 or 6 worker kills.
Okay. Right, so the Spire is nearly done. The Banshee are coming up towards the main. They are just running backwards and forwards. And backwards and forwards. The Mutalisks are in production, and once those Mutalisks hit, those Banshees do 0 damage to Mutas.
I'm not quite sure the Banshees have done the damage they need to be perfectly honest. Yeah, he might even be able to get this base cancelled again. Oh wow, that's actually a metric crap ton of DPS there. Yes, there are transfusions, but they don't come down nearly fast enough. And it looks like Sortof is going to have to cancel this base once again. So keeping... Okay, this is like a decent amount of damage now. Keeping Sortof on 2 bases for the maximum amount of time, but no cloak and mutas coming his way. Fuzer has spotted the mutas now as well and needs to fly under the cover of Marines. Head back home.
Jorisar,
No.
there's 8 Mutalisks and 3 Marines is the only anti-air that Fuzer has at the moment.
The mutas are going to get pulled back, though, when he sees the Banshees are still here. Yep, there we go. Immediately coming back because he smells blood. He knows he can get away with this. And now the Banshees are in trouble. That buys him a little bit of time. Are there Thors in production? 1. Oh, he needs more turrets, he needs Marines, and he needs Thors, and he needs them now, Maddles.
He needs them roughly in the next 10 seconds. It's going to be tough to do. And he needs to repair the Thor as well. That would be a critical thing to do.
What's that?
Repair. It's something SCVs can do. I'm going to tell Fuzer about it after the series.
Is that like something in the new patch, or...?
No, it's been around for a while. It means that any of your mechanical or buildings are able to regenerate health if SCVs...
Into the main base now, and it looks like no turrets are actually in range here, Metal, so they're going to be able to terrorize this for a while. A single Thor is already out, and he's going... I have to be honest, he's going a very, very long way around there, as the refinery does get taken out of factory, going to get cancelled as well. Oh, that's really frustrating. He needs to get... That Thor's boxed in. That's what it is. He can't get out.
That Thor too fat. That is a problem.
He needs to cancel the factory on the right-hand side to get that Thor out.
Well, that's going to be really frustrating. Having a Thor... He doesn't even have a medevac which he could lift it up with. He can't even run away into the distance, because medevacs lifting Thors are pretty impressive.
They are, man. If you think, to be honest, if a medevac can lift a Thor, they sure as hell can fit a lot more than 8 Marines in there. Those Marines hog space like nobody's business.
Yeah, Marines only travel first class, didn't you know?
I know, like those prima donnas, they don't even do that much damage. Okay, highest DPS, blah blah blah, but it's still 1 Marine. And it looks like these 3 Marines, those 3 Marines that originally were going to go up against 8 Mutas, did so, and doesn't look like they came out the better for it. Planetary Fortress and a whole bunch of turrets over here at the third base, which is great. And the Thors, they're just so slow. Yes, they'll do damage to the Mutas, but Sortof can just fly away and regenerate.
So, where does this leave us in this game? Let's talk about the key facts. In terms of the income, Fuzer is still on 3 bases. He's got 63 SCVs, 2 mules, up against Sortovs, and soon to be 4 hatches, and also 66 drones. Hive is coming down for Sortov, so he's got a tech advantage there. Upgrade-wise, he's already a 1-1, 2-2 is a third done. That's up against just +1 vehicle weapons for Fuzer. Therefore, upgrade and tech is definitely in Sortov's favour, and Fuzer has only really got a bit of a better economy.
Sortov's also about to finish his Hive medals, so it's looking quite likely. Ooh, losing a Muta there in the main base. Quite a decent number of turrets here. Not quite goody standard turrets, I have to be honest. He still needs about 3 times this number before he truly gets there, but a couple of Mutas actually going down more or less for free, and now the Thor is having a field day with what remains. Needs to be very careful. So we have got the Hive immediately finishing. What I was about to say is, based on what we've seen from previous games, Sortof is going to want to, instead of going for that Infestor production before the Ultralisk Cavern, he's actually going to want to go straight into the Ultralisk Cavern, which is what's happened on this game as well. He wants to get Ultras into his composition very quickly, so that if Fuzer does anything similar to what we saw on Star Station, where he had his units in medevacs dropping all over the place and trying to multitask against his opponent, the counter-attack from Sortof will be very, very powerful and will likely take him out. But that's not what Fuzer's doing this game.
Fuzer is meching like a beast, basically. He has got a lot of Thors, and what is he actually sending those Thors up against? 5 Mutalisks, 2 Vipers, and 1 Zergling. That is not enough to deal with this mech army, I can assure you. But Sortov does now have 6 Ultras in production.
Yes. So we'll wait and see if these Ultras can actually make a difference. Sortov actually up at 176 supply versus 155 from Fuzer at the moment. Sortov, he's actually supply blocked, but that's because he's got 62 Zerglings on the way. And the reason he has 62 Lings on the way is because he saw this army moving out across the map, and he knows he needs every unit he can possibly get against this mech composition. Now, things that could kill Fuzer right now, if Sortof gets into a great position where the tanks are unsieged and he's able to attack from multiple angles, even with Hellbats in this composition, it's going to be really frustrating for Fuzer to have to defend against it. But he's sieged up defensively at the Watchtower for now. He's going to take it a little slow, which is good because the creep spread from Sortof is actually quite advanced, so he will get good vision of what his opponents do.
He should do. And the one thing I want to point out that Sortof has researched is adrenal glands. That is so important because it means that any big Zergling play, which is going to be essential to engaging this, will be oh so much more powerful, especially once 3-3 kicks in. Also, we see Sortof is getting down Overlord speed and drop tech, so this could be really interesting. Fuzer getting a couple of Vikings into this composition, which is required in the late game. And well, all in all, this is getting quite passive. They're split down the middle. And it looks like Sortov is trying to get himself into a nice angle, but all of his units up at the top of the map.
Good number of Vipers, though. He might be able to come and swing in the siege tanks one at a time. I think that's what he's looking to do here.
He'll get some blinding clouds on as well, and that'll be super effective.
Oh, but he needs... Like, the blinding clouds will eventually stop, and he needs to be able to execute his attack while those blinding clouds are active. They're only active for, I believe, 14 seconds in-game. So if he doesn't get the damage done in that time, then really there's not much point putting them down. And we have a decent number of Ultralisks now with this army. Man, I'm never going to get used to seeing these Club Tralisks, I want to call them. Like, just the way they're radiating their light there.
Sorry to interrupt you, there have been massive Zergling push coming into the third, but now running past Singer's Planetary, going for the natural, but already been spotted. The wall-off does go up. Smart move there by Fuzer.
Went straight into the natural as well. After running straight by the third base. That's not going to be effective, but we do have a huge number of blinding clouds going here against the 5th base location. The Ultras coming in from the south as well. These blinding clouds doing a tremendous job against the tanks, but they are soon going to expire. Will the Ultras be able to take the tanks down fast enough? Still a couple of them remaining. A good number of Thors in the Planetary Fortress still here outside, sort of dropping to 150 supply. Fuzer at 141, and that looks like, to be perfectly honest, it was about an even trade. There are still some tanks left with Fuzer, but remember how many he started this fight with. His forces have been depleted here. He's now about 30 supply behind Sortof, and both sides reset to fight another day.
Yeah, in terms of resources lost, it was about, well, just over 1,000 more lost by Sortof compared to Fuzer, but it's ZVT engagements, it's always going to be that way. The blinding clouds were good, but just not enough of the tanks were killed in time. However, if we take a look, all of the Vipers were killed. That's a big problem for the Terran player. And also some tanks glitching out a bit in the main base, just trying to go on a rally point to join the rest of the army. Oh, dear. Zergling drop into the main base. This is
man,
be good.
Ultra drop. I want Ultra drop. What is this? Disappointed. Never mind. We have got Zergling, and actually these bugged out tanks in the main base might come in useful as he sends them back towards his middle line. He has them selected at the moment, that's Fuzer. There we go. So that could be a blessing in disguise. He has some Hellbats and more tanks coming out. He should be able to easily clean this up. There aren't too many units out here. It looks like that upgrade at the armory is going to finish as well. And he's coming back in towards the 5th base location. So many Ultralisks here. There are 5-3 upgrades. This time, they were nowhere close to enough tanks, and these Hellbats will not be able to get the damage done. It looks like Sortof is now pressing for the killing blow.
Yeah, this is really nice. A good little push in with those Ultras. So much of Fuzer's army pulled back to defend just a couple of Speedlings in the main. And now this just means that, really, the 4th down, Sortof taking quite a dominating lead in this game at the moment.
So many command centers being built from Fuzer here, but the thing is, he's been on around 150 supply for a while now. That really should have been additional units at the moment until he's at least maxed out. He's having trouble producing enough. And Sortof doing a great job of being in multiple locations at once. The Ultra's going to have to pull back once he realizes that choke point is definitely not in his favor. And now we have Fuzer. He's on 162 supply on 3 bases where his main isn't mining, so only on 2 bases against the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases now of Sortof. Okay, his 6th has no workers on it at the moment, and his main is about mined up, but that still is 4 bases to 2. Nice position for Sortof to be in.
Really nice position. He can now take the very effective Zerg late game strategy of, if at first you don't succeed, remax and try again. And he can just keep doing that over and over and over and over and over. And Fuzer can't really do anything about it because he's got to trade so ridiculously cost effective right now to have any chance. But the tanks, well, there's no Vipers, so there can be no, well, there's 2 Vipers out.
Cool point to note. Those 2 floating command centers, one of them is 0 out of 12, the other is 0 out of 15. Just saying. Now it's 0 out of 18. So it's like detecting gases that are nearby or something?
That's a cool thing we never knew. Oh, the Vipers get taken out. That's really important because now there's no blinding clouds and there are a huge number of tanks out. 16 tanks do start sieging up, and this is where the Ultras could be running into some problems. No blinding clouds, which were so effective earlier. Fungal growth does go down. The rest of the tanks sitting up in the natural, miles away, and just look at that show. Ouch. I
mean, the rest of the army that wasn't in the natural got absolutely annihilated by Sortof. There was no other way to put that right now. But I think Sortof should recognize, wow, you have that many tanks in the natural, that choke is going to be impossible to go through. Why don't I just hop around your 3rd and see what you do then? And that's exactly what he's doing right now. It's going to take Fuzer forever and a day to get all of his tanks over there. So Sortof has about 30 seconds where he can try and do as much damage as he can.
Now, there's another thing which I'm going to run by you here, Joras, while this push is just coming towards Planetary Fortress. Sortof has a huge amount of money, okay? After making 8 Ultras, he also knows that Fuzer only has tanks. Sortof also has a Spire. Why not transition into 30 Mutalisks?
Well, after the Vikings were fungled so hard, I'd agree with you. Before then, I'd be slightly skeptical because the possibility of a couple of Thors coming out would be really, really discouraging. But yeah, right now in this position, guess how many Vikings are out on the field? 2, which to be honest, is 2 more than what I expected.
It is, but the Ultras are pushing in yet again. The tanks are just, well, they're in a really turtled up position. There's a lot of tanks up on the high ground, and Sortof is just throwing units at his opponent, but is actually engaging more cost effectively than his opponent in terms of the resources lost. And ultimately, he has pretty much all the bases against Fuzer's, well, near 0 income. Fuzer has no mineral income at the moment.
Yeah, and he really needs this middle base, but he can't because it's been creeped up as well. The one thing I want to take away from this that I think is really important during all of these engagements, Sortof's been non-stop spreading creep still. And that's why Fuzer hasn't been able to get any additional mineraling. He physically can't land the command center right now. And that's so cool.
It's super strong, it's super effective, and with the infested Terrans getting lobbed up onto the tank, they will just help show their friendly fire and deal a little bit of damage. Sortof, he's over 100 supply above his opponent. This is GG now, basically.
Yeah, I think so. Like, Fuzer is thrashing around like a fish in a net at the moment. It is not going to end well for our Terran player. GG! And Sortof close one back to make the scoreline 4-3. Fuzer, you're not winning this yet.